Cable Line Road runs on the short distance between Concord and Jimtown high schools, and thus every year since 1961, these two schools have played for the Cable Line Cup. On this hot, sultry August night, the rivalry renews as the Jimtown Jimmies visit the Concord Minutemen on this edition of the 46th Game of the Week. And how you doing, everybody? With my Hall of Fame partners, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Great to have you with us. I bet you're cooler than us right now. Let's start off talking about the Jimtown Jimmies. Both these teams 0-1 coming in. Jimtown losing a heartbreaker to Northwood last week by a count of 7-6 in a game they really dominated. And if there's one thing they came out feeling good about, it's their defense.
The defense held that team to 7 points, and I'm sure they wanted to dance in the locker room, but you can't when you come up 1 point short. Their offense did possess the ball at times. They had a 23-play drive. They were able to get on the scoreboard, miss the extra point, and they thought, I'm sure, that they're going to get more points. But it was a tough night, but good defense all around for the Jimmies.
And Corey Stoner says his team is ready for this rivalry.
Just the environment, the opportunity for kids to compete in such an exciting environment. The crowd will be loud. Last year we went into overtime. I remember feeling the hair on my arm stand up in that game in overtime. So it's always a great game. It's always exciting. The kids know each other, and it's competitive. Kids really get after it.
Craig Kaler liked his defense as well, even though they lost to Elkhart by a count of 12-7. What was a little bit surprising is that the offense struggled. If they can get it together, though, a lot of people think this Concord team could still be a contender in the NLC.
You've got a couple of outstanding wide receivers, and Hunter Dutton's a good quarterback. He's an experienced guy back there. They've got a good running game, but they've got to be able to sustain drives. They've got to be able to move the chains and get themselves in the end zone, finish those drives. But, man, if you could have gone into that game against Elkhart and said, we'll hold them to 12 points, Craig Kaler would have taken that. But right now, his team is still looking for an identity.
Well, you know, I think we know who we are on defense. I think we'd like to be a pressure defense. We probably won't be able to pressure quite as much as we'd like tonight, just because I think we got to make sure we're sound in defending the run game. I think we're still trying to find our identity on offense. We want to be able to run the ball, but we also have some talent on the perimeter. You know, we're an inexperienced offensive line that's trying to find their way, and hopefully we take a step tonight.
Bo Hunt is wishing that football fields came with trees on the sideline so he could get some shade. There's none to be had tonight. But for these two teams, this rivalry game used to be in week 6. Now it's in week 2. How does that change things?
I think it changes a lot because this is a game that they look forward to every year. I mean, it's kind of like the Holy War game that we talk about all the time, Marion versus St. Joe. These two teams look forward to it, and they look forward to in week 6. It's only in week 2. They don't have a lot of adjustments that they've made so far from week 1 into week 2. So I think it's one of those things where they had to make some adjustments on the fly this week from last week and make those adjustments for this game. But this game means a lot to both of these coaches and both of these teams and communities.
This is the 61st renewal, and the series is all tied at 30 apiece. So you can imagine there's a lot to talk about with our Jordan Automotive Keys to Win. That comes your way next from Jake Field on the 46th Game of the Week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by TCU, Jordan Automotive Group, Bill's Heating, Intera Credit Union, Crown Trophy, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, St. Andrews Products, and the IHSAA.
This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by the Jordan Automotive Group. It's simple, easy, and stress-free. Welcome to the Greg Newton Shelter Insurance pregame show as we get ready for kickoff here at Jake Field between Jimtown and Concord. Time now to look at our keys to win, brought to you by the Jordan Automotive Group. We'll start with the visitors from Jimtown and their Lightning and Thunder backfield. The Lightning is supplied by John Two Reed, the 6'2", 205-pound senior dynamic tailback. Rushed for 37 yards in their opener against Northwood. He's also a hard-hitting part of that Jimtown defense, junior all-state defender last year. And then they've got Landon Buchanan, leading ground gainer on the year with 94 yards on 20 carries. Also a two-way player for the Jimmies. He lines up at cornerback, so he'll be tested by this Concord passing game tonight. The keys to win for Corey Stoner and the Jimmies.
Well, first of all, Chuck, it's toughness, and everybody will be tested tonight, but the Jims really got to be ready for a tough game, and they've got to finish. You know, they had some good drives last week where they didn't get any points. Got to make sure you get the benefits of those efforts. And one of the things, too, that they've really got to do is focus on their fundamentals and really take care of business. And congratulations to Coach Corey Stoner. He's in his second year now at Jimtown, coming off of winning first season.
Quickly for the Concord Minutemen, it was their senior night, so they didn't warm up. They had their players on the track for the senior night festivities. That's Jack Darcy, the leading receiver on the team. 5 catches for 146 yards and 1 interception. He was all conference a year ago. So too was Zavan Koltukian, two-way player, senior tight end, and hard-hitting linebacker. Koltukian getting Division I offers, including one from Eastern Michigan. The keys to win for Craig Kaler and the Minutemen.
He needs improved play from his offensive line, no question about that. They got solidified that running game, certainly. And they have to get away from the arm tackling. Got to wrap them up, take them down, and then they got to win on special teams, and that could be a big factor for them tonight, as Coach Kaler is now in his 7th season at Concord.
Our weather tonight, sponsored by Advanced Heating. How appropriate. 88 degrees is our game time temperature. A gentle zephyr blows out of the southwest at 5 miles an hour. There's a 15% chance of a pop-up shower, mainly because the humidity and the temperature almost match.
Great night for high school football, and the uniform check tonight from St. Andrew's Products. Jimtown Jimmy's white pants, white jerseys, and they've got those maroon helmets. And, of course, the Concord Minutemen, green helmets, green jerseys, white pants. And here to call the action tonight, my partner, Chuck Freeby.
Braden Fox with a pooch kick that'll be taken down at the 5-yard line. Concord having problems getting on the football as Malik Robinson picks it up. Then there's a flag behind the play. That had all kinds of disaster written on it for the Minutemen. And it gives us an early chance to meet our officiating crew out of the Summit City. Fort Wayne, Indiana. James Craig is our referee tonight. And it's an illegal participation against Jimtown. They had too many men on the field for the kickoff.
Good coverage, though.
Here's the rest of the crew. James Craig and James Payne, the referee and the umpire, joined by Mark Herberger, Mark Stultz, and Mark Mettler. You see that fog that has suddenly rolled in. It's because the Concord students did a LeBron James with the baby powder before the game, and it's drifting through the air right now down by the track.
Yeah, it's going to be a big break for Concord after what looked like a tough start to the game.
So a 15-yard penalty on the Jimmies will give Concord excellent field position. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line with 2-year starter Hunter Dutton at quarterback. The senior against Elkhart went 10 of 20 for 199 yards. A year ago, he threw for over 1,700 yards. Dutton working from the shotgun with Titus Hackworth behind him in the backfield. Dutton looks, fires, and completes the pass close to the 1st down marker. It'll be Omarion Moore with the reception. He had 3 last week. Let's meet the Concord offense. It's sponsored by Reith Riley. Dutton and Hackworth in the backfield. Lots of good receivers. Darcy, Moore, Robinson, Koltukian. The offensive line is the big question mark on this team. They need more productivity, including from Mackay Hall, the 335-pound junior tackle. 2nd and 1 after a 9-yard pickup. Dutton on a long count. Fakes to Hackworth, throws over the top. That is Anthony Mensah. And Mensah has a 1st down sponsored by KZRV, taking it all the way up to the 41-yard line. It's a 16-yard pickup on the connection between Dutton and Mensah, a senior who did not catch a ball last week against Elkhart. So Dutton was looking for his classmate right away here and found him in a nice little cushion of air there in the Jimtown defense.
27 yards passing already here in the 1st quarter for Concord.
Lalo Rolone, the offensive coordinator, signaling the plays in from the sideline. Jimtown gives a lot of different looks on defense. Right now they're in 4 down. Dutton hands off to Titus Hackworth. Hackworth off the left side, gets a block, Hackworth to the outside, gets run out of bounds by John Reed at around the 21-yard line. So make it the 22. It's a pickup of 19 for Hackworth as we meet the Jimtown defense, sponsored by Jimtown High School. The front line got a great game last week from Jonah Griner. That linebacking core is the meat and potatoes of that defense, with Reed and Buchanan flanking Conrath and Bottom. The secondary, they've got a veteran back there in Deacon Dillon back at cornerback. First and 10 from the 22.
3 straight first downs.
The first down sponsored by KZRV. Dutton wants to throw, has time, delivers. It's a little bit behind his man. He was looking for Amarian Moore. And Moore nearly batted that ball up in the air where it could be intercepted. That's the one thing a receiver has to be careful about in this offense. It's 2nd and 10.
Hardware Plus is a proud supporter of high school sports, and they've been really the Osceola's favorite real hardware store for nearly a century, featuring a wide selection of products and customer service. When you go in there, they just want to know, what can I do to help you? And they give you a handshake.
Shoot-top grab by Amarian Moore, and he turns what could have been an incompletion very easily into a first down, sponsored by KZRV, as he takes the ball forward to the 12-yard line. Actually, they're going to rule that that ball is short of the first down sticks, and that ball may have been on the ground as well. As you got another look on the MSC Industrial Supply replay. Now the officials reverse course and they say first down. So 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line for Concord. Drive open back at their own 35. Dutton hands it off to Hackworth. Again, left side, this time met with some more contact, and a pickup of 9 for Titus Hackworth. Hackworth had a good week running the football last week against Elkhart. Picked up 79 yards in that game, but the Concord rushing total was only 41 once you factored the sacks and other problems in.
He was out to a good start, 29 yards on 2 carries so far tonight, and this is an impressive start for Concord.
2nd and 2 from the 4-yard line. Craig Kaler said, well, if we don't score any more than 7 this week, we're in trouble. So far, the offense seems to have received the message. Hackworth, this time, though, caught in the backfield and taken down. First guy to get to him was Connor Watts, and then he had plenty of help in the backfield. Watts, a junior who was a semi-state wrestler last year for the Jimmy program, makes a big hit. That's a loss of 5 on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 6 from the 9-yard line.
Love the way Concord came out tonight. You know, a lot of times you'll see teams try to establish a run to set up the pass. They've had a real nice blend, but they've set up the run with the pass.
Dutton tells Hackworth the play, now puts Koltukian in motion. It's a rollout. He's got a man open, didn't see him, and throws to the back of the end zone to Amarian Moore for the touchdown. Well, there were multiple Minutemen open on the play, and Dutton goes to Amarian Moore for his first TD of the year. The touchdown sponsored by Corey Mead, Modern Woodmen. And the Minutemen strike first in the Cable Line Cup. There you saw Koltukian open near the first down sticks, but Dutton waited, and behind John Reed, there was Amarian Moore.
Nice job moving that football.
Miguel Aguiar on to try the extra point. It's sponsored by Culver's. Jack DRC is the holder. Snap, set down, and kick are all good. And with 8:31 to go in the first quarter, it's Concord who strikes first into the Cable Line Cup. Dutton to Moore for 6, and it's 7-0 Minutemen on 46. This edition of the TV46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by Intera Credit Union. We get it, and we've got it. Craig Kaler on the sidelines has been part of 21 of the 61 now meetings between Jimtown and Concord. First meeting was back in 61. The series all tied at 30 after a Concord overtime win at Neff Field in what was the first game of the year for both teams last year because of the COVID outbreak in Elkhart County. Concord kickoff is sponsored by Culver's. Miguel Aguiar, a 5'10 junior, handles the duties for the Minutemen. Bishop Williams and Deacon Dillenbeck are back deep. And the Deacon will take this one from his 4. Dillenbeck had a bit of a seam and then brought down from behind by Titus Hackworth at about the 27-yard line. So that's where Tyson House and the Jimtown offense will set up shop, 1st and 10. House didn't have the best week throwing the ball last week. 2 out of 7 for 22 yards against Northwood, but the 6'1 senior, 3-sport athlete, brings a lot of athleticism to the position.
I feel like they're waiting for him to explode, Chuck. He can throw the ball, he can run with the ball, and just developing as a leader with this team.
Interesting formation right away. They stick John 2 Reed out to the bottom of your screen. One of the fastest players on this Jimtown squad. Double tights with Nick Carithers and Tay Williams right behind him. The handoff is to the tailback. That's Trent Daniels. And Daniels, the 6-foot senior, is met after a pickup of 2. We meet the Jimtown offense, sponsored by Jimtown High School. The backfield, talented with Reed, Buchanan. Conrad will see some time at center tonight. They don't throw the ball a lot, but Carithers, the tight end, had 4 touchdown catches last year. The offensive line, the big question mark for this team. The biggest man out there is Bryce Holloman, the 235-pound senior who plays tackle and tuba. It's 2nd and 8. There you take a look at Tyson House. He will hand it off to Landon Buchanan, and Buchanan picks up maybe a couple of yards going against that big Concord defensive line, a unit whose starting lineup is sponsored by Goshen Home Medical. And along that front line, Anthony Trudell back in the lineup tonight. Ephraim Lake had a good game against Elkhart defensive end. The linebackers with the Koltukian brothers, the strength of the team, but that secondary is pretty good as well with guys like Moore, Odiambo, Darcy, and Robinson going both ways. It's 3rd and 7 from the 30. Fake the pitch. House rolls out, has time, fires, and a nice catch over on the sidelines for Jimtown as Anderson Slaybaugh makes his first grab of the year, but he was out of bounds. And it's an incomplete pass. And so 4th down, and Jimtown will have to punt. Big 3 and out, encouraging Craig Kaler in the Concord defense.
Last week, these two teams scored a total of 13 points. We got 7 on the board already. Concord gets a big step.
By the way, our first quarter tonight brought to us by our friends at Granite Creations. John 2 Reed takes a high snap and just does get it out of there. Jack Darcy backpedaling, makes the catch back at his 25. Darcy to the near sideline, scampers out of bounds at the 35-yard line. A return of 10 yards after a punt of 45. And Concord will try to come back out on offense, which gives us a chance to thank one of our sponsors tonight.
Well, we certainly want to do that. We want to tell you that the folks at Hardware Plus are proud supporters. We've mentioned that already. And we want you to know that they are one of our proud sponsors as well. And Tuffy of Elkhart is on South Main Street, and they have a free brake inspection available to you, and they will do it right the first time. You can schedule your free inspection today. That's Tuffy of Elkhart. They're on South Main Street.
Hunter Dutton had a very solid first series at quarterback for Concord. We'll see how he does right here. Dutton throws out in the flat. That's a lateral behind the line of scrimmage. And nowhere to go for Malik Robinson. That'll go down as a running play, and a bad one at that. It's a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd and 15. Connor Watts in on the stop again for Jimtown. Concord had a lot of success running the ball with Hackworth on the opening drive, and then equal success with Dutton throwing out over the middle. We'll see if they continue looking for that here as there's trips to the right of Hunter Dutton. See that big area in the middle of the zone, and that's where the receiver goes. That's Anthony Mensah, who cuts it back to the 36, which will set up a 3rd and 10. So Corey Stoner made the point before the game, Bob. He wanted to keep the Concord passing game in front of him. He's doing that by giving them a lot of those underneath routes.
Well, and it's effective, especially when you're still down the field quite a bit, but as the short field develops as Concord moves down, they're going to tighten that up.
3rd and 10 as Dutton looks to the sideline. Still 13 on the play clock. Second possession of the game for the Minutemen. Dutton long count, draw play to Titus Hackworth, and Hackworth is going to be awfully close to the first down as he gets down to the 46-yard line. Looks like he might be about a half a yard short here at the 46 as you get another look from MSC Industrial Supply. And fighting through the shoulder contact of Sam Garner, Hackworth almost got the first down.
Needed 9, he got real close.
James Craig, the referee, calls for the chain gang to come on out.
Well, we'll take a look here. Folks, shouldn't financial advice focus on your goals, your dreams? Your Modern Woodman of America representative can help you plan for all stages of your life, from protection to savings to agreements. Call Corey Mead. He's at 574-612-5227. That'll get you a chance to start the conversation with Corey Mead.
4th and 1 from the 46. Concord lines up as though they will go for it. Let's see if they try to draw Jimtown offside. Koltukian in motion. Dutton hands it off to Hackworth. Off the right side. Hackworth to the 40 of Jimtown. That's a first down, sponsored by KZRV. That is good old-fashioned football there, folks. You line up your big fellas on the right-hand side and say, we're coming at you, and that's just what the Minutemen did. Great blocking there and a huge hole for Hackworth to run through. They'll wind up with a pickup of 13 on the play. And the big hosses up front doing the job right now for Concord. 5 multi-sport athletes in the middle of that offensive line. It's working, why not? Hackworth off the right side again, and he sprints forward for about 8 yards before Jontu Reed spins him out of bounds. But Titus Hackworth having a monster first quarter.
Chuck, you just made a good point, too. You said he got some good athletes up front, and they certainly did look like it on this drive and certainly on that big conversion. And you say athletes, and they look like they're ready to play tonight. Folks, Greg Newton is from Shelter Insurance, and he wants to give you a chance to empowering your people, and one customer at a time. You've been paying too much for your auto insurance? Just give him a call, and he will have answered all your questions. Call Greg at 574-534-2900. Call today.
Hackworth with a 3-yard run for a first down. It's sponsored by KZRV. And the Minutemen with a nice march here as they move the chains. Hunter Dutton, the senior quarterback, his second year at the helm of this Concord offense. Minutemen changing up the backfield a little bit. Looks like James Lewis getting some time in that backfield right now. Spelling Hackworth. Play clock at 3 as Dutton takes the snap, gets rid of it, and off the hands and out of bounds. He was looking for Malik Robinson. Well, your friends at Superior Tool and Die say good luck, Jimtown. Since 1952, Superior Tool and Die providing quality products, on-time deliveries, and integrity in all the work they do. Call Superior Tool and Die and discuss your large or small project.
Not a bad incompletion right there. Certainly doesn't give you a negative reaction, but got a big down here.
Reminder, our first quarter being brought to us tonight by our friends at Granite Creations. And we have a flag thrown before the play gets underway as a false start is called against Concord. It's a key 5-yard penalty. Concord had 6 penalties in the game last week against Elkhart, and Craig Kaler said each one of them seemed to come at a critical juncture. And this drive was going along just fine until that particular penalty.
Well, those are the things we talked about in the opening keys. You got to get the fundamentals lined up. You got to take care of that business. You can't get sloppy.
2nd and 15. Dutton on play action. Has to roll away from pressure now, lobs it down there, and it's off the hand of Amarian Moore, but he was well defended by Tay Williams on the play. Dutton had to loft that ball that high or it was going to get picked off, as you'll see on the replay from MSC Industrial Supply. There's Williams right in front, so the ball lofted a little bit. Moore just couldn't go up that high and get it.
Good effort, though, by both parties, and some good defense there by the Gyms as they get a chance now maybe to stop this drive.
3rd and 15. Ball spotted at the Jimtown 35, so well out of field goal range for Miguel Aguiar. Definite 4-down territory here for the Minutemen. Landon Buchanan of Jimtown showing blitz, and here he comes. It was picked up well by Lewis. Dutton, though, too high for Jack Darcy, and it's incomplete. It'll be 4th and 15.
10-play drive is going to come up a little bit short of points, and that's something that Craig Kaler told us they really had to do. They got to finish after a good effort. They went from deep in their own territory.
Well, we'll see what happens on the 4th down play, though, because Concord is obviously going to go for it here. 3:04 to go first quarter. Minutemen lead at 7-0. Now, they have punted out of this formation before. Hunter Dutton pretty good at the pooch punts, and that's exactly what he's looking to do. Little end-over-end kick. John Reed smartly makes the fair catch back at the 12-yard line. 23-yard punt with no return. The punt sponsored by Culver's Restaurant. Jimtown Athletics wants to congratulate all the amazing student athletes participating in fall sports. Thank you for your leadership. Keep up the great work.
And we want to thank Wings Etc. in Dunlap for feeding our production crew tonight. Did a great job. Don't forget, Wings Etc. is hiring. Stop by their location on US 33 and apply today. What a great job. Thanks to the folks from Wings Etc.
Bo Hunt is down on the sidelines with the Bills heating sideline report. And maybe the heating is part of the story right now. How's it impacting this game so far?
Well, we saw a little bit last week and again this week, just the temperatures out here on a Friday night are something that they're not used to, especially during two-a-days this year. The teams weren't able to get accustomed to the heat because the temperatures were down so low. The first week of two-a-days were in the 70s, so this 90-degree temperatures with almost 100 heat index is something that's going to affect these teams. I mean, especially when you got teams with guys going both ways on the football field, it really affects them. One of the things is for timeouts, they are going to take a little bit extra time and get some water in these boys so they do get some fluids in their system. Guys?
You make sure you do the same.
Good idea. Hey, Advanced Heating Incorporated, where quality and professional service meet reasonable prices. It is hot out here tonight, and we know that, and winter is on the way. So call now for an honest quote for a new furnace or air conditioner. Advanced Heating and Air is a company you can recommend.
And one more we'll squeeze in here while we've got a moment. First Choice Auto Body, cheering on the Jimtown Jimmies. For over 30 years, First Choice Auto Body has been your first choice for all your auto body needs. Call today to schedule your repair. 1st and 10 from the 13 for the Jimmies, who trail 7-0. Went 3 and out on the opening possession. We'll see if Tyson House and the boys can move it a little bit better here, but Trent Daniels greeted rather rudely by Zavin Koltukian. That is a 6'5", 225-pound freight train that just roared through the Jimtown backfield.
And there's no tracks out there, Chuck. We checked earlier today, but that train did get there in a hurry.
There may not be any tracks, but he put Daniels on the wrong side of him, that's for sure. That is a loss of 1 on the play, and about the most painful loss of 1 Trent Daniels will have all season. It's 2nd and 11. They go right back to Daniels, and he shows no ill effects. In fact, he rumbles for a first down, the first of the night for Jimmy's, up to the 26-yard line. Well, toughness, one of the hallmarks of the Jimtown program over the years. Daniels shows it here and shows that if you give me a little bit of blocking, I can do something with it.
That's a great comeback, and you got to believe that the Concord defense was thinking, okay, we just stopped him, let's see where they're going to go now, and they went right back to Daniels.
1st and 10 from the 26, exactly 2 minutes left first quarter. House looks over the defense, taking his time. This is a Jimtown team that likes to work the clock. House will keep it himself on the quarterback Beer and takes it up to the 30-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Love the balance, like the first down yardage. We always talk about how important it is to get some good yardage on first down, gives you all the options in the rest of the possession.
Granite Creations in Mishawaka works with the area's finest architects, designers, and builders. They fabricate granite, marble, and quartz. Whether you need a countertop, vanity, shower, tub deck, or fireplace around, visit MichianaGranite.com for more information and to get a free estimate. Those of us who don't have fireplace surrounds aren't familiar with the term. That threw me for a curve. 2nd and 6. House looking to throw, gets it out in the flat, finds Deacon Dillenbeck for a first down up to the 38-yard line. So Dillenbeck makes his first grab of the year. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 38.
Got some nice balance going on this drive.
Dillenbeck, good two-way player, started last year at cornerback on defense. Member of the Jimtown baseball team, which is also coached by Corey Stoner.
Not a bad place to recruit.
Craig Kaler used to be a baseball coach as well. Bo Hunt, man, we're flooded with him tonight. Landon Buchanan on the carry there for Jimtown. He slices off 7 yards on what may be the last play here of the first quarter.
Snyder makes the stop for Concord.
Concord's going to have over 100 yards here in the first quarter and got a 7-0 lead.
Jimtown does not have to run another play, and Tyson House and the boys show no sense of urgency there in the huddle. So they're going to let the first quarter clock expire as quarter number 1 of the 61st chapter of the Cable Line Cup comes to an end. Emotions always high when these two teams meet. No different tonight. Hunter Dutton's touchdown pass to Amarian Moore, the lone score. It's 7-0 Concord after 1 on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. We go downstairs for another Bill's Heating sideline report. Mr. Hunt, Jimtown moving the ball after really struggling on that first possession. Do you see some adjustments that Corey Stoner and his coaches have made?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is they're letting House do a little bit more behind center. That first series, of course, it was a short one. They weren't able to get many yards on that first series. And Concord's defense really stepped up that first series as well. So the second series are able to really hit that corner. They were trying to hit that end and really doing kind of an unbalanced line on either side and really hit the ends and really attack those ends for this Jimtown offense.
Thank you, Bo. 7-0 Concord as we begin quarter number 2 from the Jimtown 45, a drive that started back at the Jimmy 12. Nick Carruthers, the tight end, resets on the right side. And that's the way the Jimmies will run as flags are thrown. Landon Buchanan with a nice run down the sidelines, but you kind of get the feeling this one's coming back.
like maybe a little quick movement inside.
Malik Robinson on the stop.
One of the things, too, Chuck, after 1 quarter of action, 7-0 Concord on top, but I think the Jimtown Jimmies came into the game thinking, we got to make sure that we're not overwhelmed or we don't feel like it's going to be too tough a night. I think they're having some success and they're getting some confidence.
Holding called against Jimtown, a sideline warning issued to Concord. One of the coaches or players got too close to the border, but the holding penalty will be the big thing enforced here as it'll march the Jimmies backwards.
St. Andrews Products has made our crew look good tonight. We appreciate that. They can help your team, your school, or your business. They have the finest in apparel as well as promotional gifts. You can reach them at sales@standrewscorp.com. When you go into St. Andrews, they just want to know what your question is because they've got the answer, and the answer is always yes.
Jimtown trying to chew some clock with this drive. They will have a long way to go to have a drive that rivals the one they had in week 1 against Northwood. 23 plays, 87 yards, and they took 11 minutes and 27 seconds off the clock with that drive.
It's getting it done.
So now the sideline warning, I guess it was the second one of the night. And if that's the case, that's going to basically take away the penalty. And Craig Kaler, well, the look of pain on his face is not physical.
Usually you assign one of your assistant coaches, maybe your head manager, to make sure, keep everybody back. But the officials must, when they run up and down the sidelines, if they have to adjust to somebody standing too close to the field, they'll warn you. If it happens again, they're going to penalize you.
Well, what's going to be interesting here is where they decide to set the ball and what down they decide to make it. In the meantime, we can tell you that work at MSC Industrial Supply. They've got full-time, part-time, and after-school hours available. Starting rate is $16.50 per hour. It can be up to $19 with attendance and productivity bonuses. If you're full-time eligible, that's a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Go to jobs.mscdirect.com to apply. Be great. Be inspired. Be a part of the MSC team. They're an equal opportunity employer.
We've had a few whistles here in this first half, and that was a problem that both coaches were concerned about.
So it's 2nd and 3. Trent Daniels runs right by one of the Jimmy tacklers. Amaria Moore brings him down at the midfield stripe, but not before another Jimtown first down.
Stop the ball at the 50-yard line.
So Daniels having a nice night running the football. He ran for 36 yards last week in the loss to Northwood, a 6', 155-pound senior.
Another first down.
Again, this drive started back at the Jimmy 12-yard line after a long Concord drive that proved pointless. House keeps it himself on the veer, picks up about a yard on the play. Plenty of green jerseys there to greet him. That includes Ephraim Lake, the defensive end, who came up and made the stop. Lake, as we mentioned, the starting lineups had a really good game against Elkhart last week. 3.5 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a fumble recovery. Not bad for your varsity debut.
Not a bit. Held to 1 yard on that play was House. House, a familiar name to Jimtown fans over the years.
2nd and 9. He's a pretty good player, and so is his daddy.
Yes, sir.
House rolls out. Nice little dump pass to Nick Carithers, the tight end, and he'll take it up to the 42-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play. For Carithers, his first catch of the year after he made 14 snares a year ago. You get another look on the MSC Industrial Supply replay. Jack Darcy there to make the tackle.
Third down and 2 for Jimtown.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies reminds you that they are still the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions, and they are helping with some of the big aerospace industries, including Boeing and SpaceX. They've got a great tradition that they're proud of, and they're looking forward to the future. And they're like the teams in tonight's game, looking for a great finish.
On 3rd and 2, Daniels is stopped up by Armin Koltukian and the rest of the Concord defense short of the first down marker. It's 4th and 1, and the Jimmies are going to go for it from the Concord 41-yard line. Big play in this game here. Jimtown try to keep a drive alive.
See a lot of these plays, Chuck, and you look back after the game and said that was a big play. This could be it.
House keeps it himself off the left side and runs for the first down. He patiently let 3 more blockers get in front of him out of the backfield and ran it for 5 yards and a Jimmy first down. You'll get another look on the MSC Industrial Supply replay, and each one of those backs took out a Concord defender.
Good patience there by the quarterback. You try to force that sometimes. And you'll notice at the NFL level, so many times guys look like they're going half speed and you're wondering what's going on. Then the guard comes across and kicks out an end. Next thing you know, you're cutting it up and hitting the accelerator and you're gone.
Nice call by Mark Ward, the Jimmy offensive coordinator. Here's the handoff to Daniels in the backfield. He carries tacklers, including Ephraim Lake, with him up to the 32-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play for Daniels. Graphics Unlimited, a leader in premium graphics and paint packages for the RV factories, now available to you. Commercial, home, and interior, Graphics Unlimited has something for you. Visit graphicsunlimited.com and make your mark with us.
Well, Jimtown's using up some time, aren't they?
This drive started late first quarter, overlapping here into the second quarter, and they will take the first 4 minutes of the second quarter with them. Hand off to Daniels again, and he battles for about a yard before Ephraim Lake wraps him up again.
Concord defense been out there for quite a while. And guess what? So is the Jimtown offense.
3rd and 5, and we have an official's timeout as Nick Carithers, I think he might have lost his helmet on that play, or seems to be favoring his shoulder a little bit.
Folks, Clem Smith HVAC is a proud sponsor of Jimmy's football. And Clem Smith has really been doing a great job in business since 1955. Clem Smith HVAC remains a residential, commercial, or industrial outfit that really can service all those industries and for maintenance, repair, or replacement.
Donald Koltukian is having none of a run by Jonah Greiner. Greiner gets his first carry of the night and winds up losing 4 on the play. It'll be 4th and 9. You get another look, and that's why Koltukian is getting Division I offers, how quickly he shot the gap. His second tackle for loss tonight.
Such a good athlete, such a heady player, totally understands what they're doing on defense. Has a lot of experience, and didn't take him long to get into the picture here for Concord's Minutemen.
You mentioned good athlete. He was all Northern Lakes Conference in both football and basketball last season. And now we've got a timeout called by Craig Kaler. He didn't like the defensive set. The timeout called by Clem Smith HVAC. 6:49 to go in the first half. Still 7-0 in Concord on 46.
You are a role model for everyone in your school community. Thank you.
This here edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week brought to us by St. Andrews Products, serving since 1989.
St. Andrews Products really proud of their association with the new golf course up in Grand Haven, Michigan. American Dunes, designed by Jack Nicholas. Proceeds go to Folds of Honor. That supports scholarship funds for veterans and their families, and it's just a wonderful operation to get a chance to get up there and play. And tell you what, the folks at they're just doing a great job supplying all the shirts and hats and everything up there for those wonderful people. So St. Andrews Products jumping in. Let them know if they can help your cause.
Culver's on Elkhart Road says, go Minutemen. Their dining room is open. They invite you to come in to try the new pretzel bites and cheese. Only 7 days a week until midnight. Culver's on Elkhart Road. Welcome to Delicious.
Did you really say that?
I did.
Pretzel. Oh.
Not bad.
No. I've struggled through it myself.
4th and 9. And the Minutemen will see if they can stop this Jimtown drive. Tyson House looks to throw. Ephraim Lake throws him down. Lake lost his helmet on the play, and Jimtown loses the football on downs. It was a blitz, and when Griner went over to pick up Koltukian, that freed up Lake, and the Lake swallowed up the house.
You might have to explain that to some of our younger viewers, but I get what you're saying. That's the third negative yardage played tonight. That defense for Concord has gotten here in a bad mood.
Now they've given the offense terrific field position. 1st and 10 at the 43, and let's see if the Minutemen can add to their 7-0 lead midway through the second quarter. Dutton hands it off to Titus Hackworth. A flag comes down, and Hackworth runs up to the 47-yard line, but get the feeling this is some sort of offensive penalty based on the timing of the flag.
Well, it's not like anybody on the sidelines is wearing a saddle, but if they were, there'd be a couple acorns underneath it. Certainly for Craig Kaler. And it is the second game of the season, but...
yeah, but Craig Kaler was hammering away on this at practice Tuesday. We cannot have these kind of mistakes because they're drive killers, and they have been for Concord tonight. So now they're looking at 1st and 15. MSC Industrial Supply is hiring. They offer a starting rate of $16.50 an hour for warehouse positions, 7.5% more for hours worked 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. New hires eligible for a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Full-time, part-time, and after-school hours. Go to jobs.mscdirect.com to apply. Be part of the MSC team. Hunter Dutton, part of the Concord team, throws out in the flat, finds Amarian Moore. That's up to the 49-yard line. It'll set up a 2nd and about 4 for the Minutemen, and you'll get another look on the MSC Industrial Supply replay. Dutton, with plenty of time, throws a nice spiral to Moore, who looked it in.
And he had to pick up some yardage after the penalty, but you don't have to go to the markers or beyond to try to pick it up. You can work it, and that was a real good throw underneath the coverage.
So it's 2nd and 4. Minutemen on the move, right about the midfield stripe. Dutton takes his time. Now it's Titus Hackworth right up the middle of the offense. Hackworth running over people to the 37. Pick up a 14 on the play and a 1st down, sponsored by KZRV. What a job the Concord offensive line is doing in the running game tonight. And look at the cross blocking they made here to open up a hole for Titus Hackworth.
Tell you what, the balance has been impressive. And again, if you take away the mistakes, Concord's impressive team offensively.
And a lot of bodies going a lot of different directions there to take Jimtown people out of the way. Concord with 2 timeouts left and 5:09 left on the clock here in the first half. Hackworth on the ground again. This time Connor Watts gets an arm on him, and the rest of the Jimtown defense swallows him up, but we've got a flag on the play. And that's a holding call against the Minutemen. The comic strip character Pogo once said, "We have met the enemy and it is us." And maybe it feels that way right now for the Concord Minutemen.
Well, it's got to. And you think about Lalo Roland and the staff, put together a good, solid game plan. When they've had a chance to execute it, it's gone well.
Goshen Home Medical is a proud supporter of Concord Athletics. Choose Goshen Home Medical for all of your home medical and respiratory equipment needs. Visit their location on South Main Street.
The Greg Newton Agency of Shelter Insurance wants to give you a chance to get educated on your insurance needs. They're ready to help you. That is the Greg Newton Agency. And they invite you to call them at 574-534-2900. Give them a call today.
Shelter's a great place to be on a night like this. 1st and 22.
Do they have air?
Hackworth with a nice little jitterbug move in the backfield to get him loose for about 4 yards on the carry. And that's where Bryce Holloman brings him down, the 6'1", 235-pound defensive lineman. KZ Recreational Vehicles, proud to support athletics in Northern Indiana. KZ's growing, and they want you to join the winning team. Why? Well, better pay, better benefits, award-winning products, plus you'll be treated with respect. Come join KZRV, a family-focused company. Aram and Shelley here at the ball game tonight watching. On 2nd and 18, Dutton with a screen pass too low for Jack Darcy. That's one guy that the Minutemen have not been able to get on track tonight, is their leading receiver from a week ago.
You think he's getting a little attention from that secondary at Jimtown? Certainly is. And it was a good rush there, some good pressure. And so really, again, sometimes you have to think about an incomplete pass. I think there was a better part of valor right there. The alligators were pretty thick.
Looking at a 3rd and 18 from the 45, a 7-0 Concord lead. The Minutemen scored on their opening possession tonight. Dutton looks to the sideline, the play clock at 5. And they just got it off in time. Dutton rolling out, looking, throws for Darcy too high. It'll be 4th down in a punting situation for Concord.
As it turned out, if they had been a second later, they would have had a 5-yard penalty, but still had the football.
Yeah, but even further to go, and even if Darcy makes the grab there, he likely lands out of bounds as the ball was thrown on the run. So Craig Kaler sends his punting unit out. The punt for Miguel Aguiar, sponsored by Culver's.
Saw this last week. Greg Atkinson from Marion was held without a yard in the first half. Jack Darcy has been neutralized as well by Jimtown.
Aguiar punting from the shade. He hangs this one out end over end. It's dropped back at the 8-yard line and recovered there by Jimtown. Fortunate recovery by Jonah Greiner there to pounce on the loose football before good Concord special team coverage got there. TCU is better banking, and you will get the latest technology. You're never too far from a friendly face. Discover the TCU advantage. Become a member today at tcunet.com. They're federally insured by the NCUA. And don't forget, coming up at halftime, Bob, with our TCU student-athlete interviews, a couple of fine representatives of these institutions. And we'll have highlights and stats on the Tuffy Elkhart halftime report.
Well, Ted, those interviews every week are just so special. You meet so many tremendous young people, and well, I'll tell you what, if folks are wondering about the future of our country and our communities, it's in their hands. We're going to be fine.
Reminder, there's more high school football for you. Well, tomorrow you can see a doubleheader if you're watching this Friday night. This game plus the Michigan game that we did Thursday night. But next Friday, this is Northern Indiana's oldest rivalry. Plymouth and Warsaw dates back to when Bart Curtis had hair. You can watch it Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school sports, TV 46. I have the feeling I'm going to get a cold reading this week.
Bartimus will be ready for you.
Yeah.
I thought when you said the longest rivalry, I thought you were talking about you and I. But, no, that's a great history in that rivalry. John Barron will have his team ready, and they have so much respect and caring for each other that it'll be a special opportunity for us to be there to watch again a great Northern Lakes Conference game.
Let's see how Jimtown handles this final 3:37 of the first half. Tyson House at quarterback. Hands it off right away, and again, the Concord defense is there for Trent Daniels. Armin Koltukian and Ephraim Lake make the stop. Armin, the younger of the Koltukian brothers, but he's a 4.0 student, 3-sport athlete, and semi-state wrestler. That's a 2-point takedown right there.
It certainly was. Boy, I tell you, wrap up and take them down. And right now, you'd think that the Jimtown Jimmies want to make sure, number one, they don't turn the ball over. Number two, they probably need at least one first down to be able to run out the first half clock. And so you know that Concord's coming after them. They'd like to get that ball back.
2nd and 13. Concord was coming on a blitz. House rolls away from it. And then Tyson House, don't look back. Something might be gaining on you, and that's going to be 15 yards against the Minutemen for a blow to the head. This will be a first down for Jimtown after the penalty on Concord, and you'll get another look at it from MSC Industrial Supply. Right there, crown to crown. In college football, that would be an ejection.
We saw a little bit of that last night up in at Lakeshore.
The difference tonight is it was called.
Yeah, good point, partner. Hey, we want to thank the folks at Wings Etc. in Dunlap for feeding our production crew tonight. Not only fed them, but gave them some cold drinks, and we really appreciate it. Now, don't forget, Wings Etc. is hiring. Stop by their location on US 33 and apply today.
It's 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Big pickup on the first play of the drive for the Jimmies. Let's see if that gets them jump-started here. The handoff and bottled up on the inside and losing yardage is Daniels. Ephraim Lake having a great game at defensive end tonight. Comes up and makes the hit. Lake, 6'1", 200-pounder, and an honor roll student. He certainly gets an A in film study this week.
Well, I'll tell you what, 1 yard gains, no gains, and negative plays have been mounting up against Jimtown. And again, as you're the head coach, you go in the locker room and say, our defense is playing really well, throwing a shutout so far. But you're starting to feel like it's a lot like last week, partner. 7 points on the board in the first half so far.
2nd and 11. It's a pitch out. Daniels weaving his way through people, then Armin Koltukian with a one-arm tackle over there at the 38-yard line. Pickup of 9 on the play for Daniels, and he'll make it 3rd and a manageable 2.
Good execution at a key point of the ball game for Jimtown.
Armin, 6'1", 195, and a junior, and you get an idea of his quickness in pursuit from the middle linebacker position. 3rd and 2, twin receivers to the right of Tyson House. And now we've got whistles blown and a timeout called by Concord. We'll keep it here with 1:07 left, first half.
Folks, shouldn't your financial advice focus on you and your goals? Should focus on all of your goals, and Modern Woodmen of America can help you, and their representative can help you plan for all stages of your life, from the protection to savings to agreements. Call Corey Mead. He's at 574-612-5227. That's Corey Mead, and he can get you started with the conversation.
Well, Concord likes to talk about a football family. In the case of the coaching staff, it's very real. There are 3 sets of fathers and sons on the Concord coaching staff. John Kaler is Craig Kaler's dad. He used to be his coach down at Bend Central, now here as an assistant. Perry and Brett Baranek get after each other each day in practice because Perry's the O-line coach and Brett is the D-line coach. And Craig and C.J. Schaefer working together. Craig carrying C.J., there's no question about that.
Craig, special young man, he's got a lot of great experience in weight training and things like that as well. But talented staff here. And Chuck, we might want to mention somebody else is probably watching the game tonight with some great interest.
Well, Mike Dutton is recovering from back surgery. His son Hunter is the Concord quarterback, and we were granted permission to set up a special feed for Mike tonight. So our thanks to Dave Preheim at Concord for allowing that to happen so that Mike could watch his son's senior night game as it happened. Here's the handoff on the inside. And the tackle made after a pickup of 3 by Jonah Greiner. Greiner takes it up to the 42-yard line. That'll be enough for a Jimtown first down. Now the Jimmies will take a timeout, sponsored by Clem Smith HVAC, with 1:02 to go first half.
Long way to go, but maybe you've got a play that you've been working on, and we'll see what happens. It's sort of like an end-of-game situation. If you get on the board here, it'd be huge for Jimtown.
Good luck, Jimtown, from your friends at Superior Tool and Die. Since 1952, Superior Tool and Die provides quality products, on-time deliveries, and integrity in all the work that they do. Call Superior Tool and Die to discuss your large or small project.
Great support this week for both these teams. We appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. Folks like Granite Creations in Mishawaka, our second quarter sponsor. In fact, they're sponsoring all 4 quarters tonight. They work with the area's finest architects, designers, and builders. They fabricate granite, marble, and quartz. So whether you need a countertop, a vanity, shower, tub deck, or something called a fireplace around.
That's right.
Visit MichianaGranite.com for more information and to get a free estimate.
And a log. Oh, you don't use those either. Well,
probably not in those.
Boy, nobody's using them tonight, I'll tell you that much. Holy cow.
Not even in the outdoor fire pit?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No. Even the mosquitoes are too hot to come out tonight.
It is 1st and 10 for Jimtown at its own 42. They have 1:02 to go in the first half. 1 timeout remaining, or excuse me, 2 timeouts remaining for the Jimmies. So let's see what Mark Ward, the offensive coordinator, decides to do here with Tyson House. He wants to throw the football down the field for Jimtown Reed, and it's intercepted. Malik Robinson with the pick down at the 20-yard line. So Robinson, the 6'2 junior, runs under it like a center fielder, making the basket catch, and you'll get another look from MSC Industrial Supply. House just didn't throw this one far enough in front of Jimtown Reed, and Robinson with him step for step.
Nice idea, though. I love the fact that you're going to take their shot. There was a minute to go in the first half. Jimtown got handled pretty good down there, but he does have speed.
Well, and realistically, they likely weren't going to be able to run the ball for 58 yards in the last minute of the half. They had not broken any plays like that so far. So take a shot. See if Concord is defending the run too closely. They weren't.
Let's see if they try to get Mr. Darcy open maybe for one of those deep routes.
Well, Concord not afraid to sling it. Here's Anthony Mensah with the catch, and a good tackle made right there by Jaden Snell, the sophomore defensive back, who comes up and makes the stop on Mensah at the 25-yard line. Craig Kaler wants a timeout, and he will get one with 42 seconds remaining in the stanza after a pickup of 5 on the play. Folks, you may have heard this before, but we're going to tell you again that you should work at MSC Industrial Supply. They have full-time, part-time, and after-school hours available. The starting rate at MSC, $16.50 per hour. It can go up to $19 with attendance and productivity bonuses. If you're full-time eligible, you can get a $2,000 sign-on bonus. So what you do is you go to jobs.mscdirect.com to apply. Be great, be inspired, be a part of the MSC team. They are an equal opportunity employer. We'll be checking the area scoreboards as well here in week 2 of the Indiana high school football season. A busy week with some good matchups. Marion has taken a 7-0 lead on Culver Academy. That game in the first quarter over at Tulski Field. LaPorte with a 7-0 lead on Penn in the second quarter. Mishawaka is handling Elkhart 21-0 at the half over at Steele Stadium. I think Keith Kinder might have something special brewing over there.
You've got some offensive weapons, and their defense, Bo Bauer and company, man, they've been really good.
Northwood has taken a 7-6 lead on Logansport late in the first half at the Berry Bowl. Benton Harbor in Michigan with a 6-0 lead on Berrien Springs. 7:54 left in the first half. Here's 7-0 Concord. There's Jackie Arce getting the bubble screen, but not able to do anything with it. Only a pickup of 1 on the play. And it'll be 3rd and 5 as the seconds tick down here in the first half.
Who's coaching up there at Berrien Springs, Carter?
That would be 80-year-old Elliot Uselak, and the Benton Harbor team that he's facing tonight at the brand spanking new Sylvester Stadium is his former team that he coached.
And he did a great job at all the places he's been. He's been a great gift to the game of football, going all the way back to the days as the head coach of the Naval Academy. Elliot Uselak, thank you.
Concord is issued a delay of game penalty. I don't know if the play clock didn't start when the officials did it or whatever the case might be, but it'll be a 5-yard mark-off against the Minutemen. They're not really concerned with that right now. They're just trying to drain the last 4.7 seconds here. And the clock will run, and the first half will come to an end here at Jake Field in Dunlap, with Concord leading Jimtown by a count of 7-0 in the 61st edition of the Cable Line Cup. And as the teams leave the field, we send it downstairs to Bo Hutt for a Bills Heating sideline report. He's lined up with the Concord head coach, Craig Kaler.
Craig, you guys go into halftime up 7-0. Very limited offensive possessions out there, but your defense is very stellar.
Yeah, we're running it better. That's a positive sign. And we're playing well. couple negative plays got us off schedule. We've moved the ball, I think, pretty consistently. The possession down here, we ended up with a hold, got us in a negative situation. If we can clean up our negative plays, I think we'll be able to continue to move the ball.
Any adjustments for the second half?
I know we got to go and look a little bit. I think they may be hurting us with some stuff. They're blocking down on our 5-tech a little bit. We got to look at that, but we're playing okay.
Thanks, Craig. Back to you guys.
They're hurting us with some stuff. I love it when coaches get technical.
Analytical.
7-0 Concord at the half. The Tuffy halftime report and our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. Actually, Craig, I appreciate it. I could understand that. Hurting us with some stuff. Second half coming your way after our Tuffy Elkhart halftime report on 46.
And welcome back to Jake Field, as we have a chance now to honor our Student Athletes of the Week, brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. Well, we have a couple of fine representatives with us, as always. Anthony Roberts is with us from Concord High School. We'll get to him in just a moment. Hunter Conrath is with us from Jimtown High School. And Hunter, congratulations on all you're doing. A very busy guy.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
You're involved in football, basketball, baseball, and a couple other things at school. Fellowship of Christian Athletes keeps you pretty busy.
Oh, yeah. Jimtown always keeps you busy with little people at that school.
You have to set some priorities, don't you, when it comes to how you're going to divvy out your time?
Yeah, I mean, schoolwork keeps you busy, and all those sports, definitely. You don't have a day off.
You're getting it done in the classroom as well, and you've got some unique things you're thinking about in the future, maybe a trade career or possibly getting into excavating.
Yeah, I just want to do what I really love, and excavating also has good benefits, and trade schools, you can never go wrong with those.
You've got a great group behind you. Jimtown, very proud of you, and you got a great group at home. Talk about the people who've had your back.
I want to thank my mom, my dad, my grandma, and my sister for helping me out through the years.
That's tremendous. We wish you all the best in the future. Congratulations on what you're doing.
Thank you.
All right, Hunter Conrath from Jimtown High School. And Anthony Roberts is with us from Concord High School. And Anthony is a cross-country and track and field man. And congratulations on all the successes you've had.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You're getting it done in the classroom, doing a great job. You're going to have, if you're a good athlete, you have some options. If you're a good student and a good athlete, you have all the options. What's ahead for you?
I'm looking to go on to college. I'm still undecided, but I'm looking to major in exercise science and minor in business.
Well, we'll see you coaching someday, maybe.
Possibly, but I'm looking to be a personal trainer with my exercise science degree.
I don't blame you there. And you're involved in the National Honor Society. Congratulations on that. And talk about the people that you're involved with that have helped you along the way. You know, you got to have somebody give you a ride 2 miles so you can go run 20, but it works. And who's had your back?
I'd like to give a huge shout out to my parents, my mother and father, my girlfriend and her parents, and my 2 sisters, and all my extended family. They mean a lot to me, and I love them all so much.
Wow, got everybody in there. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good luck in the future, Anthony, and we're proud of you and all of our student athletes of the week. We're very proud of them as well. We appreciate you being with us. This feature brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. We're back with halftime stats and highlights in just a moment here on TV 46, our game of the week.
This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for 32 years. Halftime at Jake Field. Time for the Tuffy Elkhart halftime report with Concord on top of Jimtown 7-0. We've had to get a little creative here in the press box with the shot. I grew quite a bit during that first half because of all the heat.
Well, with the air conditioning in here, oh, wait a minute, they don't have air conditioning. But it's a beautiful facility, and the staff here at Concord has been absolutely terrific. And so far, we've got a pretty good ball game, but again, we get numbers coming up, but Chuck, some big plays in that first half.
Let's show you how it got to be this way here at Jake Field. As Concord scored on its opening possession, they moved the ball right down the field, and Hunter Dutton eschewed the open Zavin Goltukin because he found Amorian Moore in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. That made it 7-0 Concord after one possession of the game. Jimtown was moving the ball, but Ephraim Lake with a big sack on 4th and 9 to squelch a Jimtown scoring threat. And late in the first half, Tyson House is intercepted by Malik Robinson. deep in Concord territory, and that's where we stand right now. 7-0. Not a whole lot of highlights, but a whole lot of statistical domination by the Concord Minutemen.
Yeah, you know, you look at Concord's stats and you think, well, that's at least maybe 14 to 20 points, but that penalty yardage wasn't a whole lot, but just the little nits and nats that stop and drive. 5 penalties, 35 yards. Jimtown has been, well, a couple times in bad field position where they couldn't really open things up, so the yardage is about 2-1. But again, Jimtown, the only team with a turnover in the first half. Not a lot in the way of first downs either, but Chuck is starting to feel an awful lot like last week. These two teams combined for 13 points.
It's senior night here at Concord. Why would you do senior night on the first home game of the season? Such is the era of COVID, where you make sure if you have a game, you honor your seniors. They got the football players before the game, the band and the cheerleaders now. It's 7-0 Concord. That's our Tuffy halftime report. We've got play-by-play coming on your way. Second half next on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. We go downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report. Bo, what kind of adjustments are Corey Stoner and the Jimmies going to make here as we get ready for the third quarter?
Well, that's exactly what I asked Corey about the adjustments for the second half, and he said we're going to attack some areas that we see of weakness. He didn't define exactly what those weaknesses are in case somebody's listening, you know, but he said that they're well-coached. Concord's well-coached. He goes, and we knew that coming in. He goes, they're very disciplined, and we're trying to attack some areas and maybe hit on some counter plays on the backside, but they're really trying to attack that defensive end area and really going to try to go at it. And there's some weaknesses, he said, and we're going to try to exploit them here in the second half, guys.
Bo, let me ask you about the weather conditions. Sun has gone down now. Has it made a difference?
Yeah, the wind's blowing about 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, you wish.
Nah, the humidity is still here. The sun has gone down. It's probably dropped maybe, 10 degrees. They say, usually when the sun goes down, but it's still hot out here. The heat index, it's got to be at least 90, 95 still at this point here going in the second half, guys.
Yeah, it's 91 actually. So for the heat index, 84 the current temperature. So it hasn't gone down that much since kickoff. You're right. And we'll see what kind of condition these two teams are in as the second half goes along, Bob. But as you looked at the first half, you said in our Tuffy Elkhart halftime report about the statistical dominance of Concord. They've got to find a way to correct these penalties. They're killing it.
No question about it. And it's just, it's just a 5-yarder here, and then they had the big penalty on the kickoff. I mean, when you look at the talent on this team, and we keep looking at Hunter Dutton, a veteran quarterback, keep looking at the wide receivers and Moore and Darcy. I mean, that's got to keep people honest in the secondary, and they have had a little bit of success throwing underneath, but there's some things that this Concord team still has to develop as the season goes along.
And if you're Jimtown, it's fine to say, okay, we're going to attack weaknesses. A lot of people believe that Jimtown's most explosive player is John Two Reed, and he didn't have any touches in the first half. Now, they tried to throw the ball deep to him at the end of the half. That didn't work out. But I would think he's got to touch the ball a little bit here in the second half.
No question about it, partner. And, you mentioned that heat index. I think we can get it below 80 before we're done, only if it goes to 7 overtimes. At which point some of the players will have to go home. They'll be out after curfew. So we're enjoying a 7-0 game, and everybody's fired up, so to speak, as we get ready to go to the second half. And here to call the action in this 7-0 thriller is my partner, our WHME TV 46 Sports Director, Chuck Freeby.
Our third quarter is sponsored by Granite Creations. Our kickoff sponsor is Culver's, the fire trucks and ambulances that are traditionally here during the game to keep an eye on things in case something should happen. Got called out to another incident apparently, so they're on their way to that. That's why you hear all that commotion in the background. It'll be Miguel Aguiar handling the kicking duties for Concord. For Jimtown, it's an interesting pairing back deep to receive the kickoff. They have a bishop and a deacon.
That's not a bad combination.
Bishop Williams and Deacon Dillenbeck are back deep. And maybe the Jimmies will have a prayer if they can get a big kickoff return here.
Or schedule a Sunday game maybe.
Aguiar ready to put toe to leather, and the second half begins from Jake Field. Dylan Beck at the goal line was inside the end zone. It's a touchback, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 for the Jimtown Jimmies. So great kick by Aguiar, carrying on a tradition of excellent Concord kickers.
And that's not the worst position that Jimtown has had in this ball game after a kickoff.
There you see Craig Kaler. Craig got a nice surprise in the mail this week. He played at Benton Central High School. Dan Meyer, a former Concord assistant athletic director, is down there as the AD now at Benton Central. And Dan shipped off an old number 51 jersey to Mr. Kaler. That's what Craig wore down there for the Bison. And he said that's one of the nicest things people have done for him in some time.
And from what I've seen, I'm sure it fits.
Hey now.
No, he's doing a great job taking care of himself and his team.
Well, there's a reason for that. We'll get into that after this first down play that saw Trent Daniels carry for 3 yards before Armin Koltukian broke him down. Craig Kaler had a very interesting offseason. He had 2 bouts of COVID and triple bypass surgery, and so he has lost a ton of weight and gotten himself back in shape. He'll never be in as good a shape as his wife, Cindy, who does CrossFit. Ooh. But he's taking much better care of himself and says he realizes that the world does not end with a loss on a Friday night, although he had to convince himself of that last Saturday. Here's a nice run for Jimtown as Landon Buchanan takes the ball out of bounds in front of the Concord sideline at the 33 for a Jimmy first down. You'll get another look from MSC Industrial Supply. Buchanan on just a pitch sweep, able to outrun Ephraim Lake that time before Zabin Koltukian pushed him down.
Well, it wasn't exactly what we thought they'd be doing when they said they're going to attack the defensive end slots, but it had a feel to it. They got a corner, and he was able to pick up 10 yards.
And again, Jimtown, as they've done a few times tonight, splitting John 2 Reed wide, and Malik Robinson drawing that one-on-one assignment. Tyson House hands it off to Landon Buchanan, and Landon Buchanan runs into a sea of green. Ephraim Lake and Armin Koltukian there to make the tackle right at a 1-yard pickup. Koltukian really working with the coaches this week, especially assistant John Kaler, on where to read the play and where to come in on the gap, and he learned his lesson well right there.
And he's taking such a correct course. I mean, he's been blessed with a great physical presence, and he's really working to develop to be as good as he can be, and people are going to want him on their teams.
2nd and 9. This is Daniels on a counter play, and he's wrapped up quickly by Gabe Mayo. Mayo had 6 tackles in the game last week against Elkhart. First time we've called his name tonight, but the senior coming through with a nice stop there to set up a 3rd and 7.
3rd down and 7.
House has thrown the ball better tonight than he did last week against Northwood, but this would seem one of those key situations where he's got to be able to come up with something, and maybe you're on a screen pass here expecting the pressure from Concord.
And he's getting his feet under him a little bit. You know, earlier and even last year when you watched him, a little unsure, you know, but he's starting to develop those things you need to do to be a quality quarterback.
Koltukian coming on a blitz. And the pass made to John 2 Reed, his first catch of the night. But Reed is knocked out of bounds by Anthony Mensah, short of the first down. It'll be at the 40-yard line, and that'll set up a 4th and 3 in a punting situation for the Jimmies. Graphics Unlimited, a leader in premium graphics and paint packages for the RV industry, is now available to you. Commercial, home, and interior. Graphics Unlimited has something for you. Visit graphicsunlimited.com and make your mark with us.
Good stop for Concord. Should get the ball in pretty good field position.
Reed with a nice high hanging kick that Jack Darcy takes at his 30. Darcy bobbing, weaving, but he won't be even and leaving as he gets taken down by Sam Garner back at the 30. 9:37 to go, 3rd quarter. Concord leads at 7-0 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies. IFT, where quality is a way of life, and Titus Hackworth running the football is what Concord wants to be a way of life. A 13-yard pickup and a first down sponsored by KZRV for Hackworth, who had a fine first half running the football. You'll get another look from MSC Industrial Supply.
Hackworth had almost 80 yards of their 114 yards rushing in the first half, and doing a lot of that while he's a target.
When your offensive line pushes guys far enough out of the way that nobody's in the picture, you know they've done a pretty good job. Lance Army with a big block that time. It's Hackworth again. Hackworth kept his feet, and Hackworth across midfield, refusing to go down as he gets to the just short of the first down marker. A 9-yard pickup for the Concord tailback. 5'9", 190. Built a little bit like a bowling ball. And he hit the head pin right there. Whoa.
Sometimes that's the only one I could hit.
Man, he let Tay Williams know he was in. 2nd and 1. Jimmy's on defense here, trying to stop Hunter Dutton, who flicks it out there, but it's out of bounds. Dutton was trying to get the ball to Malik Robinson, but threw it too far to the outside. It'll be 3rd and 1.
You know, we have, penalty.
An ineligible receiver downfield for Concord.
3rd down and 1, I take the penalty.
Absolutely.
Chuck, I was going to say, if you're Concord and you're having great success giving it to your fullback up the middle, I know Hunter Dutton isn't known for his running, but on a 3rd down and 1, he's a big, strong kid, 200-pounder. I'd almost like to see him carry the ball once in a while.
It won't happen here, not unless he's flushed from the pocket on 2nd and 6. Twins to each side. It's Hackworth up the middle, and man, did he get smacked. You could hear the crack up here from Landon Buchanan. Buchanan, a semi-state champion wrestler and 8th in the state at 160 pounds, squats over 300, and he laid the lumber to Hackworth on that one.
Wow.
3rd and 5. Dutton directing traffic in the backfield. Dutton on play action. Slings it to the outside. Jack Darcy, stop and go. Got the first down, sponsored by KZRV. Jimtown's Bishop Williams there with the tackle, but not before Darcy comes up with a nice grab here. Darcy, a year ago, was the top man in the Northern Lakes Conference in terms of receptions. He had 51 a year ago to not only lead the Minutemen, but the entire NLC.
Again, it gets a little tougher. Defense is having meetings and saying we got to put our best defender maybe on Darcy.
On 1st and 10 from the 46, Hackworth pinballs off people for 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 6. Culver's on Elkhart Road says, go Minutemen. Their dining room is open. Come in and try the new pretzel bites and cheese. They are open 7 days a week until midnight. Culver's on Elkhart Road. Welcome to delicious.
Where have I heard that before?
From Culver's.
Yeah.
2nd and 6.
Concord would like to get themselves on another 3rd down and 1 or get the first down here.
It's Hackworth right up the middle of the Jimtown defense again. John Toure brings him down at the 24. That's a 19-yard pickup for Titus Hackworth. He might be knocking on the door of 100 tonight.
Just went over it, partner.
Boy, he's getting some nice blocking up front. You know, this is what Craig Kaler said before the game. We have not established an identity. We want an identity as a team that can run the football. They're establishing that tonight. Now they have to be able to establish one as a team that can find the end zone too, because Landon Buchanan just made a nice one-on-one tackle there for no gain. And there's another flag on the play. Holding against the Minutemen. It's like watching a dance. They take 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
This would have been the 9th play of the drive coming up. And now they're heading backwards.
Corey Stoner, who handles this Jimtown defense, is also the baseball coach at Jimtown. In his 2nd season as the head coach, hoping his defense can be bolstered by this 1st and 20 situation. Let's see what Dutton and the Minutemen do here. Hunter on play action, slings it out and finds Amarian Moore, and Moore takes it down the sideline before Deacon Dillenbeck knocks him out of bounds. They will spot the ball at the 22-yard line. That's a pickup of 12 on the play to make it 2nd and 8. Actually the 23, so make it 11 and 2nd and 9.
Advanced Heating Incorporated, where quality and professional service meet reasonable prices. It's really hot out right now, but you know that winter is on the way, and you can call for an honest quote for a new furnace or air conditioning system. Advanced Heating, a company you can recommend.
New running back in the game, that's Will Odiambo. And Odiambo was down before the ball popped out, but he lost yardage on the play back to the 25. Well, they're going to give him a generous spot at the 24, but it's going to be 3rd and 10. Odiambo, a 155-pound senior who is also a member of the wrestling team here at Concord.
Double-figure drive, over 4 minutes of possession. What we talked about in our keys to win tonight for Concord. You got to get points as a result of your efforts.
They could be close to field goal range for Miguel Aguiar, but they'd like to get the 1st down, and Amarian Moore aims to do so. Bishop Williams knocks him out before he can get to the sticks. Moore knocked out at the 16-yard line. It's 4th and 2, and decision time for Craig Kaler. Moore with a good grab there. That's about his 5th of the night. And so the veteran coach, Craig Kaler, now in his 7th season as the Concord head coach, sends Zavin Koltukian in to play tight end for this set. In fact, it's a double tight set with Anthony Trudell.
Not a bad idea. And, you know, the thing is, you're going for it here, and if you don't get it, Jimtown's back in their own territory. Not sure you want to kick a field goal here, but they're going to talk about it.
Timeout sponsored by Clem Smith HVAC. 4:26 to go in the 3rd. Concord facing an important 4th and 2 when we come back. The 46th game of the week brought to you in part by Intera Credit Union. We get it, and we've got it. And we've got a Bo Hunt sideline report. 4th and 2. What do you think Craig Kaler is going to do here, Bo?
Well, I think especially when they throw another tight end in there, you're looking definitely for a run play, but it could be not just to Titus. I think it might be Dutton, you know, keeping the ball as well. I mean, that's a good option for them as well. Keeping it around the backside for a quarterback keeper as well, guys.
All right, thank you, Bo. Bob Nagel was lobbying for a Hunter Dutton run a little bit earlier. It's been a lengthy drive for the Minutemen.
The 12th play of the drive coming up here, and that includes a 15-yard penalty. So, you know, again, they're putting it together. They're getting some things done. They're well over 100 or 250 yards in offense in the ball game, and you're up 7-0. You know, just hate it as a head coach. You're a mistake away from being tied, or, you know, after last week, you really want to take care of business, and they're calling the kind of game that you got to have, but you can't have the penalties, you can't have the mistakes.
Want to remind people MSC Industrial Supply is hiring. MSC in Elkhart offers a starting rate of $16.50 per hour for warehouse positions, 7.5% more for hours worked 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. New hires eligible for a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Full-time, part-time, and after-school hours available. Go to jobs.mscdirect.com and apply. Be a part of the MSC team. They're an equal opportunity employer. 4th and 2 from the 16 for Concord. Their first possession of the second half has taken a lot of time off the clock. They have no points to show for it yet. Hunter Dutton working from the pistol, sends Zavin Koltukian in motion. Long count by Dutton. Play clock at 10. It's Titus Hackworth off the right side. Tripped up, did not get the first down. Hunter Conrath came in and made the first contact. The rest of the Jimmy defense finished him off, and Corey Stoner celebrates as his defense comes up big. The wrap-up tackle made by Jackson Clopton. And the Jimmies take over on downs at their own 16.
12 plays, 5 minutes of game time. Jimtown comes up with as big a play as you can imagine. It's not a turnover, not a touchdown, but a game like this, what a stop.
Finishing means so much, and we haven't seen either team do a great job of it here tonight. Now up the middle, that's Landon Buchanan for 4 yards. Zavin Koltukian in on the tackle of Buchanan that time. Couple of gritty athletes going head-to-head on that play. He'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They get the kind of drive they want. We could be well into the 4th quarter.
Jimtown just has not been able to get any explosive plays this season. Their one touchdown this year came on a 23-play drive. Here's Jontu Reed. He can be explosive. Gets to the outside, but Armin Koltukian knocks him out of bounds. About 2 yards short of the sticks. And for Reed, that's his first carry of the night.
Tuffy of Elkhart is on Main Street in Elkhart, and they do free brake inspections, and they do it right the first time. And I'll tell you what, you can schedule your free brake inspection today at Tuffy of Elkhart. They're on South Main, and they're proud to support tonight's high school football game.
3rd and 1. Full house backfield. Buchanan up the middle, did not get there. Armin Koltukian with the stop. He appears to be short of the first down, and now Corey Stoner with a big decision. James Craig going to stop the clock. He wants to get the chains out for a measurement.
Another big 4th down opportunity coming up perhaps, but well, we've seen some really big stops by both teams in key downs.
While the chains come out, we'll remind you Goshen Home Medical is a proud supporter of Concord Athletics. Goshen Home Medical serves the community to help their patients live their best lives. Visit their location on South Main. You see it's about a half-yard short of a first down. How much of a gambling man is Corey Stoner?
Well, you're still in the 3rd quarter. You don't have to roll the dice, so they've got a pretty good punting game tonight out of Jontu Reed.
They are lining up in a full house backfield. Now they'll change the play. Lots of time, 15 on the play clock. You see the situation on the Intera Credit Union scoreboard. House goes right up the middle. Where that linesman is, he got the first down. He went right behind his center, Hunter Conrath, and Tyson House is able to get the first down and move the chains to keep the Jimmy drive alive.
Needed 1, got 1.5.
Corey Stoner pacing on the sidelines, hoping his offense can do something. You get that big first down, and then you look up and you realize you're still back at your own 27-yard line.
And that is as many first downs in this 3rd quarter as they had the whole first half. So they might have found a couple of things that worked for them. They got to keep it up.
Landon Buchanan tries to bounce off the left side, but nothing doing against this fundamentally strong Concord defense. Armin Koltukian having a big game at middle linebacker tonight. One thing about Concord, the size and strength they have, particularly at the linebacker position, you're not going to break a lot of tackles against them.
The other thing is, we talk about how big and strong they are. He's also very quick. Kaltuki and his younger brother, both very quick athletes.
Second down. Trent Daniels, the trailing back, he goes for 3 yards before Gabe Mayo brings him down. Setting up Jimtown for a 3rd and 4. Jimmy's would be just fine with chewing up clock as long as there is a payoff at the end. That has been elusive for both teams tonight when they've moved the football. Big 3rd and 5 call here for offensive coordinator Mark Ward. He'll give it to Jontu Reed. Reed around the corner has the first down before he moves out of bounds. So Jontu Reed showing a little extra pep in the step here after not touching the ball in the first half. Perhaps those legs are fresh, and he takes it up to the 38-yard line. Got a nice block on the outside from Trent Daniels.
3 first downs in this drive. And that was a nice selection against Chuck. We've seen him try to hit the edges a little bit more. And see if that doesn't open some things up in the middle.
They are having some success steadily running the football. Will they try to change from that here as they send Daniels in motion? House with the pitch sweep to Jontu Reed, and Zion Koltukian chases him down. That's a big-time play for the linebacker right there.
Good anticipation.
He reads this like Evelyn Woods. Shed the blocker and come in and throw the man down.
What a ball player.
He'll come out for a brief respite, 2nd and 10. Hand off to the trailing back, Trent Daniels. Room to run, running over people to the midfield stripe. And a Jimtown first down. Daniels finding some space on the outside and took advantage of it.
Pretty nice drive here for Jimtown.
Jimtown drive that started back at their own 16-yard line has now inched its way up to midfield.
This will be the 10th play of this drive.
Waning seconds of period number 3. Again, it's Daniels. Gabe Mayo wraps him up in Concord territory at the 49. And the 3rd quarter will wind down to its conclusion here at Jake Field. The 61st renewal of the Cable Line Cup has been a defensive struggle tonight, and the emotion worn on the faces of every player in the green and in the white. Concord leads Jimtown 7-0 as we go to the 4th on Port. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by the Jordan Automotive Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. We go back downstairs for Bill's Heating Sideline Report. Bo Hunt, you said Corey Stoner saw weaknesses he thought he could attack. Could that be the perimeter?
Yeah, I think that's key right there. And the other thing was putting Jontu Reed in the backfield. You know, we thought, why was he not getting the touches in the first half? Well, I think they were saving him for the second half. With this heat and everything, you see him out there. He's got some of the freshest legs out there, and I think that was key here in the 3rd quarter and now going to the 4th. You know, they're just pounding away, eating that clock, and that's what Jimtown Jimmies like to do.
Real good points, Bo. Thank you very much.
A very good point. And Jontu Reed, you know, he's on the punting team. He plays some defense, and if you double him up the whole game, might not have much left for you. But, you know, while he's staying pretty fresh as a running back, the defense for Concord getting a little tired out there on a hot night. And been out there in the field right now for 10 plays.
4th quarter being brought to us by Granite Creations and the Jimtown Athletic Department and coaches. Want to give a big thank you to all the amazing fans, parent, and staff for working together. Community support is what makes Jimtown such a great place. 12 minutes left in regulation. A 7-0 Concord lead as we begin the fourth. Jimtown working from the Minuteman 49 on 2nd and 9. Trent Daniels off to the top of your screen, but it's John 2 Reed up the middle and Armin Koltukian through the middle of John 2 Reed after a pickup of 2.
2 hard-earned yards right there by Reed.
Tell you what, Armin and Zavin will knock the Koltukian right out of you.
Third down and 8.
You know, I mentioned earlier when this drive started, Jimtown would love to put together a drive that would not only get them down into the end zone, but get them well into the fourth quarter. They can convert here, big third down.
3rd and 8. John 2 Reed got a seam, hit some people, but he went down at the 44-yard line. Trent Daniels is down on the field and slow to get up, and the officials will stop the clock to tend to Daniels, who's really hurting down there at the 47-yard line. It'll be a 4th and 4 for Jimtown, but first the trainers are going to attend to Trent Daniels, and you'll get another look from MSC Industrial Supply. Daniels wears number 19. He tries to block right there, and then Armin Koltukian kind of comes into his leg, and I think that might have been the problem.
Folks, Hardware Plus is a proud sponsor of high school sports, and they've been Osceola's favorite local hardware store, and that's all they do. They're a real hardware store, and they've been doing that for nearly a century, featuring a wide selection of all your favorite hardware products and customer service. And I tell you what, one of the things that happens when you go to Hardware Plus, they hold out their hand, they shake it, and they said, "How can we help you?" That's Hardware Plus in Osceola.
Good news is Trent Daniels was able to leave the field under his own power. But Jimtown now looking at a 4th and 4 from the Concord 44-yard line. If you play the field position battle, you take the chance that you're not going to get this good a field position the rest of the night. If you go for it here, you may surrender really good field position. So it's a gamble that Corey Stoner feels is worth taking right here, early fourth quarter.
Concord does not need one of those 5-yard penalties.
Tyson House brings him up to the line of scrimmage with a full house backfield. House wants to throw. John 2 Reed is open, and House gets it to him, but there are all kinds of flags on this play. And there's a Concord player hurt after running into John 2 Reed over in front of the Jimtown sideline. And the Jimmies all take a knee over there.
Sure feels like it might be a holding call.
We'll wait for the officials to sort out what the flag is as you get another look at the hit by Reed leveled on the Concord defender. It was Willie Odiambo who went down right away with a shoulder problem. But we still don't know what the flag is. Odiambo's up. He's walking off under his own power. And it appears as though it will be offensive holding according to Bo Hunt down on the sidelines.
Looked like the Concord defense was just about to attack the house, so to speak. And then he all of a sudden had another second and a half or so, was able to complete the pass, but the holding allowed that play to develop.
So there you see Will Odiambo and John 2 Reed taking matters in right now. Wishing there wasn't a holding penalty there because that cost the Jimmies a big first down and will likely change the strategy for Corey Stoner and company here. Big holding penalty. It's a 15-yarder that puts the Jimmies back at their own 43-yard line.
Yeah, we've been talking about the Concord penalties being crucial. That one jumped up and bit the Jimmies.
4th and 17 now for Jimtown, and John 2 Reed will line up in punt formation. Jack Darcy is back deep. standing at his own 17-yard line.
4th and 15, you know, I know what I'd do, 7-iron.
A little bit of a high snap, and Reed pops it straight up into the air. That'll take a Concord roll, and it's dead at the 43-yard line, the line of scrimmage. A 0-yard punt, and Concord will take over in Jimtown territory. I don't know if somebody got a hand on it or it went straight up the elevator chute, but either way, it's not good for Jimtown.
Here's the good news for the Jimmies. There are no yards on the return. But man, and Reed has done a good job tonight kicking the football. So a tough situation there for Jimtown. Jimtown has the only turnover of the ball game. They've given up almost 300 yards of offense to Concord, and yet they're down 7-0, but put themselves in a hole.
Special teams hurt the Jimmies last week against Northwood, and we'll see if it bites them again here as Hunter Dutton looks to throw under pressure. Scrambles left and out of bounds, chased there by Tay Williams, who could get credit for a sack after a loss of 4. It was Williams' initial pressure that flushed Dutton out of the pocket.
Folks, Imagineering Finishing Technologies is still regarded as the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. And I'll tell you what, their 3 Indiana locations are doing a great job in providing professional products for the aerospace industry. Some of the bigger companies include Boeing and SpaceX. They're helping right now to get that going at IFT. Tell you what, they're doing a great job, and they remind you that quality is a way of life.
On 2nd and 14, it's Titus Hackworth, and Tay Williams makes the stop there, and we've got a penalty called on Concord, and it might be another holding call in the backfield. It is. So it has devolved into a rather sloppy contest here in the 4th quarter, with penalties marring the action on both sides, and another Minuteman player is down on the ground. While they tend to him, we'll remind you the KZ Recreational Vehicles is proud to support athletics in northern Indiana. KZ is growing, and they want you to join their winning team. Why? Well, they've got better pay, better benefits, award-winning products, plus you'll be treated with respect. Come join KZ RV. They're a family-focused company. And a reminder, the next Friday night, this is a rivalry that started in 1961. Plymouth and Warsaw started back in the early 1900s. It's the oldest rivalry in northern Indiana. I believe they will play for the 103rd time next Friday night at Fisher Field in Warsaw, and we'll be there for all the action between the Rockies and the Tigers here on TV 46.
And no, we didn't do that game, that first one.
Well, we didn't. You did. You were working with Jerry Black, I believe.
Jerry Black, Lynn Thornton.
2nd and 25. Hunter Dutton throws out into the flat, and he's got his man. That's Amarian Moore, knocked out of bounds by Jackson Clopton to about the 48-yard line. And a flag comes in for some after the whistle extracurriculars.
Oh, my.
It's a personal foul against Concord. It'll be on Amarian Moore. Clopton legally shoved him out of bounds, but then the forearm to the face, and that didn't sit well with the official.
Or with head coach Craig Kaler.
No.
Tell you what, they could get in a meeting room on Monday and he could show them video of just penalties. Wow. You know, you look at the Minutemen going into the season. Veteran quarterbacks, some quality wide receivers, a big, strong running back. 7 points tonight, 7 last week.
They have pieces, but they seem to work against themselves as much as the opponent. It's 3rd and 30 right here from the 36-yard line. Both teams have it stuck in reverse here in the 4th quarter. Handoff, they'll try to run it up the middle, but that's not going to go for 30 yards. It does give it a little bit more breathing room as James Lewis carries the football for Concord. Bishop Williams makes the tackle at the Concord 47. So a pickup of 11 on the play will leave it 4th and 19 and punting time for Miguel Aguiar, sponsored by Culver's. 2 deep men for the Jimmies.
We could have a fantastic finish here, but boy, whoever gets it straightened out first is going to have that opportunity.
Deacon Dillenbeck and Jonah Griner are the deep men for Jimtown. Aguiar hangs one high in the August night that Griner takes back at his 19. Jonah Griner slips through to the 26-yard line, and that's where Jimtown will take over with 9:13 to go in the game, trailing by a touchdown in a 7-0 game. Bob, last time I remember a game that was this low scoring, we did a Fairfield versus Niles game a few years ago.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it was a Notre Dame baseball game. Man.
Niles wound up winning that one by a count of 7-0 that night.
How about those Vikings?
And Scott Shaw with a nice win last night for the Vikings in his Niles debut, the former Elkhart Memorial coach. Concord band making some noise here at Jake Field. Tyson House with the handoff. And it was finally secured by Trent Daniels, but he's thrown backwards after a pickup of 1. There just has not been much room to run on the inside for the Jimmies tonight. Anything they've been able to get has been attacking the corners.
And with that defense, the way it's been attacking on passing plays, there hasn't been a whole lot of time either. So Jimtown's really been held in check here, especially in the second half.
2nd and 9. Down to 8:40 to go in this one. House turns and gives it to Daniels. There's the outside. Jack Darcy comes up and makes the tackle, upending Daniels at the 38-yard line, but that'll be a first down for Jimtown. And once again, it's the ability to get speed to the corners that's working for the Jimmies.
Good adjustment by their coaching staff. Folks, Imaginary Finishing Technologies is celebrating over 60 years as the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. And they wanted to tell you how proud they are to be associated with the new golf course up in Grand Haven, Michigan. It's called American Dunes. It was designed by Jack Nicholas, and it supports the Folds of Honor program, which supports scholarships for veterans and their families. If you need help with your cause, contact the folks at St. Andrew's Products. They'd love to help.
Sam Garner, a whirling dervish going forward to the 44-yard line. He must have done about 2 360s on that play. Wound up picking up 6 yards on a play that looked doomed from the start. Great run by Garner, and that'll make it a 2nd and 4. You cannot fault the effort of either one of these teams tonight. The execution, yes. Full house backfield for the Jimmies. Here's Garner again. Off the right side, has a first down, ball popped loose, and Concord has it. The Minutemen with the fumble recovery. That's Juan Ross on the recovery. The 2nd turnover for the Jimmies tonight. And you get another look from MSC Industrial Supply. The ball popped loose thanks to a hit by Jack Darcy, and then Juan Ross comes up with the recovery.
Oh my. I think we've seen more stoppages on the field tonight from their own team than we've seen from the opposition. 2 turnovers.
That was a big play by Darcy, coming up with the 2nd nice hit in a row on this drive. So while he hasn't made the contribution we're used to seeing on offense, defensively he's coming up with ways to help the ball club. Here's Titus Hackworth bouncing off people, but a nice solid job of tackling by the Jimmies there as Nick Hoffman comes up with the stick.
Not much of a surprise there. I think if Craig Kaler had his druthers here, he'd give the ball to his big man the rest of the game if he could get 4 yards of carry.
And I'm sorry, that was Hunter Conrath on the stick that time. He's wearing 61, not 51.
Hunter's a good-looking ball player, too.
2nd and 7. Dutton, bad snap. And Hackworth will fall on it back at the 41-yard line. That's a huge loss of 12, and it sets up a 3rd and 19. Dutton never had a chance on this one. Hunter's a baseball player, but this was a hard-hit ground ball. I'd rule that a hit.
Yeah, too hot to handle. But they did come up with it. Been a couple of those miscues tonight that Concord has been able to hang on to.
3rd and 18 for Concord. Still 6:10 and counting to go in this one. So Jimtown has opportunities here if they can finish the stop. Dutton with time. Throws out in the flat and over the head of Anthony Mensah. It's incomplete. It'll be 4th down in a punting situation. First Choice Auto Body is cheering on the Jimtown Jimmies for over 30 years. First Choice Auto Body has been your first choice for all your auto body needs. Call today and schedule your repair. So 4th down, punting situation. The punt sponsored by Culver's.
Well, I'm sure Concord's hoping to get a quality punt here.
Miguel Aguiar has had a pretty decent night kicking the football. They need a good snap here on special teams, and they got it. Aguiar hangs it high over the head of Deacon Dillenbeck. He's going to let it hit, and it takes a Concord roll inside the 10 to the 9. So Jimtown has to figure out a way to go 91 yards in the last 5. 45. We'll come back and see if they can do it on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by TCU, empowering members for 90 years. They're federally insured by the NCUA.
One of these teams will go to 1-1 on the season. The other ball club's going to be looking at 0-2. And when you think about what happened in week 1 and now in week 2, both of them can be really proud of the efforts. They got to get better execution.
Tyson House with a one-hopper to Deacon Dillenbeck. So an incomplete pass will stop the clock. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Knowing Mark Ward as we have over the years, I got to believe that there's going to be some kind of a play in their playbook, whether it's a halfback option pass, a hook and ladder, something special, something they work on just for fun at the end of practice. But you know what? That's a tired ball club, and they're looking for a mistake by Concord in their coverage.
2nd and 10. House wants to throw. Zavin Koltukian will not allow it. Koltukian with the sack. He's had a big game. There's going to be somebody from the Concord defense if this score stands up, talking to Bo Hunt after the game.
Yeah, it might be Zavin Koltukian.
Could be Armin, could be Ephraim Lake. They've all had good games. 3rd and 14 back at the 5 for Craig Kaler's squad.
And offensively, of course, they've gotten a nice game over 100 yards from their fullback. So there has been some good performances tonight.
Mishawaka beat Elkhart tonight, 28-0. Here's a handoff up the middle. Landon Buchanan bouncing off tacklers. Did he get the first down? He's close, but I don't think he's there at the 18-yard line. Boy, what a run by Buchanan on 4th and 14. He's going to be about a yard short, or 3rd and 14, a yard short, setting up a 4th and 1.
Well, if you lose by 1 or lose by 14, it doesn't make any difference. And I'm not sure that if Concord gets the ball back, that Jimtown will ever see it again. So, well, they've been rolling those bones tonight quite a bit. So here we go again.
And they'll go for it here on 4th and 1 at their own 18. Tyson House tries to squeeze in the middle, and it looks like he got the first down up to the 19. We'll have to see based on the spot. First down. Whew.
You can almost hear the fans from Concord saying, "Come on." There's Craig Kaler saying it louder.
Kaler can't believe the spot. He is all over the line judge on that side.
It's a good thing he's taking a stance of not letting games be all that important. He's done a great job here at Concord.
3:50 and counting. Jimmy's have 2 timeouts left, and they're going to have to use, or 3 timeouts left. They're going to use one right here. It's sponsored by Clem Smith, HVAC.
Looking forward to another Northern Lakes Conference clash next week. There's always something special about NLC games. They mean so much to each team. And Bart Curtis's Warsaw Tigers struggling a little bit tonight.
Yeah, we'll take a check on them. We mentioned Mishawaka winning 28-0, and Bart Curtis was more than happy to put the onus on his old buddy Keith Kinder. But I'll tell you, a team that's been impressive in the early going too is Northridge. They are handling St. Joe tonight 32-7. So Chad Epley's squad looks like they'll be 2-0 heading into a game with Wawasee next week. Logansport has an 18-15 lead on Northwood with about a minute left, but the Panthers are driving at the Berry Bowl. Knox with a 7-6 lead on Rochester going to the 4th. West Noble leads Wawasee 12-7 going to the 4th. So a lot of good action in the NLC tonight, but I think most people expect Warsaw, Mishawaka, and perhaps this Concord team to challenge. Also one score, Winnemac leads Pioneer 10-0. That's important because Pioneer has never lost a game in the Hoosier North Conference in football. Winnemac, ranked number 10 in 1A, might be able to get the job done tonight. Here it's Jimtown trailing 7-0. Tyson House looking to throw. Throws back out in the flat. It's intercepted. Pick 6 for Amarian Moore. Touchdown Concord.
If we're at Wimbledon, somebody be yelling game, set, match. Flag?
Flag's on the play. We'll see what this is all about. And it will likely be a taunting penalty against Concord.
Well, if they do, then they'll have to live with it because they're going to have the touchdown on the board.
So there's the unsportsmanlike conduct, and it'll be assessed on the kickoff. But let's take another look at the pick 6. They had brought in Ephraim Lake and brought him past the intended receiver, Sam Garner, but Amarian Moore just held his ground, waited, and that 2-finger salute there was the reason he got the penalty.
And I'll tell you what, they'll be having a talk with Amarian Moore. He's a very talented athlete, but that's 2 of those penalties tonight that in a closer game, and this was a pretty close game, you just can't do that. And coaches used to call those me penalties. You know, it'd be one thing if it affected the team, but you're doing that for you.
So the score is sponsored by Corey Mead at Modern Woodman. Miguel Aguiar's kick is sponsored by Culver's. It is up. It is good. 3:38 to go in the ball game, and the Minutemen may have just put win number 1 of the 2021 season in the bank. The defense hasn't given up anything, and they score a touchdown tonight. Amarian Moore with both Minuteman scores. Anchors away indeed. 14-0 on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for over 30 years. Part of the physical fitness program here at Concord, they do push-ups after every touchdown, and that's 14 that young lady will have assistance doing tonight.
Well, last week these 2 teams combined for 13 points. Tonight 14 points, but they all belong to Concord. Jimtown will have a quiet ride back to Jimtown, but more than anything else, they're just going to be plumb tuckered out, as are the Concord Minutemen, and they're hoping for a little cooler weather next Friday night.
Miguel Aguiar's kickoff sponsored by Culver's. High night. And Deacon Dillenbeck back at his 18-yard line, tripped up. And doing the honors that time for Concord was Deshaun Emerson. Well, both of these teams are usually fast starters. Should this final score hold up, Jimtown will have its first 0-2 start since 1990. Concord has not started 0-2 in a season since 2003, and that looks like that streak will continue. But Corey Stoner is going to have to get the resolve of his team built back up before they face Osceola Grace next week.
There'll be a chance for a good win, and of course Concord's got Northwood next week.
Reed and Buchanan in the backfield behind Tyson House. House wants to throw and does. John 2 Reed makes the catch on the outside, gets out of bounds, close to the first down marker. House has not had a bad night throwing the football, the interception albeit, but he hasn't been able to get a bunch of completions. The guy with the most completions for Jimtown in the Cable Line Cup game is Concord boys basketball coach Derek Deschone.
Wow.
Which begs the question, which side is he on?
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, there have been some good quarterbacks on both teams over the years. I was like, you know, Keith Kinder had a great run at Jimtown, but that was mostly a running football team.
Right.
But he just, you think of the Sierra combination that was here for Concord.
Oh, Concord's had a slew of quarterbacks who've thrown the ball well. It just has never really been a big part of the Jimtown offense. So the Jimmies are going to have to figure out some things on offense here as they go down the stretch. And let's bring in Bo Hunt for a Bills Heating sideline report. And Bo, talking about the Jimtown woes, and they're obvious on offense. I'm still a little surprised that this Concord offense has not been able to get into sync. Have you changed your mind on the Northern Lakes Conference here based on what you've seen the first 2 weeks of the season?
No, I think it's still just a work in progress. You know, with Concord, I mean, they got the pieces there. They're just not quite connected on some of the passes, and they're hurting themselves with penalties. I mean, Craig talked about it before the game as well. It's, you know, they're moving along, and next thing you know, they got a big penalty. And, you know, that's what's really shot them in the foot, basically, this game, guys.
By the way, as low scoring as our game is, Triton and LaVille are headed to overtime in a 0-0 tie.
Wow. And we're going to take you to that game live. No, I wish you could. That'd be kind of fun, but.
Landon Buchanan with a 1-yard run. It's 3rd and 1. Berrien Springs a winner tonight over Benton Harbor, 33-11. I'm sorry, that's another Shamrocks. That's Westfield, downstate.
Uh-huh.
I confused my Shamrocks there. It's 3rd and 1. House wants to throw. Pressure coming and the hit made. Malik Robinson comes through on a corner blitz and buries Tyson House back at the 38-yard line.
5th sack of the night for Concord.
House never saw him, and the best that Bryce Holloman could do was yell, "Look out." 4th and 6, Jimmy's will go for it. House to throw. Lobs it out there and has his man, Nick Carruthers, the big tight end, taking it down the sideline for a big gain for Jimtown before he's knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. That's a 36-yard pickup for Jimtown, their biggest gain of the night. Carruthers running a nice drag pattern right in front of Amarian Moore.
Kind of a well-thrown ball, too. It had to have a little feel to it. Had to get it over the defenders in front, defensive backs behind. So nice throw by House.
John Adams gets a win tonight, beating Fairfield 29-16 down in Benton.
That's been a fun one.
Here's House looking to throw and has no time. The Concord defense held a convention led by Zavin Goltukian. And he had help from Adrian Martinez.
Loss on the play of 7. 2nd and 17.
So it's 2nd and 17 for Jimtown. And the clock a huge enemy too. Jimmy still have 2 timeouts, but they've got to score 14 points in a minute 36. House again wants to throw. Koltukian right in his face, and down he goes. I think that is the 2nd sack and about the 5th tackle behind the line of scrimmage for Zavin Koltukian tonight. He has had himself a monster game.
And 7 sacks in the night for Concord. So some pretty good negative yardage for Jimtown as a result of that defense for Concord.
And Jimtown will take a timeout here with a minute 15 to go, but you'll get another look at the pressure put on by that Concord defense.
You just don't have time. You got to square up here, especially if you're going to the right. Koltukian didn't even have to really grab him and take him down, just kind of put up a paw and knocked him down.
Timeout, Jimtown.
So Jimtown takes the timeout.
We should mention, as we always do when we come to Concord, the excellence of their band program here is just phenomenal. And there were footprints in the tire out behind the stadium. I think those guys have been practicing out here in this hot weather, but they do a great job, and it's always a thrill to get a chance to watch them perform.
We mentioned that Jimtown next week will take on Osceola Grace, a team that did beat South Bend Clay earlier this year, but Clay has a myriad of problems right now. Concord will enter Northern Lakes play here at Jake Field, taking on Northwood. That should be a very interesting battle between 2 teams trying to get untracked.
Well, and again, it's early in the season. One of the nice things, we were talking to coaches up there in Michigan where we did the Lakeshore game against Portage Central, in that, you got to have a certain amount of wins and points and everything to get into the playoffs up there. Here in Indiana, you can coach and teach and be patient. Both these teams will be better as the season goes along, and that's a nice attribute in this wonderful program here in the state of Indiana.
3rd and 17 for Jimtown at the Concord 42. And it's the first man through, Jonah Greiner, taking it deep into Concord territory to the 15-yard line. Greiner for a first down that'll move the chains with a minute 14 to go.
1st and 10 from the Concord 16, Jimtown, first down.
2 biggest plays of the ball game for Jimtown have come on this final possession.
So a quick hitter with Landon Buchanan. Koltukian finally brought him down at the 16. Clock running with minute 10 and counting. House into the flat. Tay Williams makes the grab at the 13, and then Amarian Moore with the tackle and the quick help up.
Short gain on the play.
Good sportsmanship on both teams despite the intensity of this rivalry. 2nd and 8.
Jimtown has doubled up its first downs in the second half from what they had in the first half, but
House to throw to the end zone. It's intercepted, and that'll do it. Jack Darcy with the interception. 3rd turnover of the game for Jimtown, and the Concord defense will get that much desired shutout tonight. House had to get rid of it, just threw it a little too high, and Darcy was playing the outfield there.
Yeah, we were talking about who would be our player of the game. We've got a pretty good idea, but if you brought up the entire Concord defense, that wouldn't be a bad idea either. They've had a great, great night.
Absolutely, and now Concord can move into victory formation and take the all-time lead in the Cable Line Cup Series by a count of 31-30 in the series, winning this game by a count of 14-0. The Minutemen will go to 1-1. They will face 1-1 Northwood next week. The Panthers lost to Logansport 18-15. Jimtown drops to 0-2 and takes on Osceola Grace next Friday night. Great sportsmanship being shown by both teams as they shake hands in the middle of the field. A lot of these guys know each other. And yes, they get caught up in the intensity of the rivalry. They want to win, but after the game, they're more than happy to shake hands and renew friendships. Final score tonight at Jake Field, Concord 14, Jimtown nothing. Stick around. The Greg Newton Shelter Insurance postgame show is next on the 46th Game of the Week.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by...
Time for the Greg Newton Shelter Insurance postgame show here on the 46th Game of the Week. The Concord Minutemen victorious in the Cable Line Cup game over Jimtown by a count of 14-0. Players out there talking with parents and friends as they celebrate this win over arch rival Jimtown. Chuck Freeby and Bob Nagel high above the fray, and an impressive defensive performance by the Minutemen.
Really was. And of course, tonight was senior night. You got a homecoming next week. A lot of special things going on here at Concord, but I got to really tell you, this is actually the TV 46 weight loss program, and we're proud to be a part of it. But I just want to give a shout out to our crew before we forget. Sometimes we do later in the ball game. But Dean Korsmo, our producer, director, and his entire staff, man, are carrying cameras up and down. Did it again last night. Just really proud to be a part of this team.
No, they do a terrific job each and every week. We're very appreciative. Somebody else who did an appreciable job tonight was Amarian Moore. He was spectacular on both offense and defense, a touchdown on both sides of the ball, and he's standing by now with Bo Hunt.
Standing by with our player of the game, Amarian Moore. First off, man, congratulations. Great victory out there. You led the team. You had a touchdown catch, but more importantly, you had that interception. Just talk about that interception you had.
I couldn't have done it without the team. We practiced that all week. They were telling me all, like, the whole week, and even in the locker room, watch that coming out, watch that leaking in the flats, always watch the flats. So I did that, read them both, and ended up getting that.
You look like you read it from the start of that play. I was standing right there on the sidelines during that play, and you could see it before you even threw it. I bet you were thinking the same thing. Don't throw that pass.
Yeah.
Your defense was really stepped up tonight. I mean, just holding this Jimtown team to 0 points, really shutting them down, especially when they got down towards the end zone. Your defense really stepped up.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have done it without all the people to my left and my right. I mean, they helped me out. It wasn't just me, so.
You guys had a tough loss last week to Elkhart. You guys got another Elkhart opponent in Jimtown this week. Just talk about the contrast and how you guys were able to step up this week during practice.
We talked about it, and we had to flip the page. We couldn't stress it anymore. I mean, it's over. It's in the past. We had to play this game. We're taking it one game at a time. We can't dwell on what happened behind us, and we got to look forward to what's going to happen.
Talk about the heat out there. Last week, same thing. This heat has really been unbearable for people. Just talk about how you guys are dealing with that heat.
I mean, we've been practicing, we've been cut 30 minutes of practice, and we're only practicing since we're only practicing a short amount of time, and then we're just getting stuff done, only going in uppers, and it's helping us, and we sat in there, so we weren't out here in the heat, because we had a bunch of guys cramp up fourth quarter last week.
Hey, good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
So much needed momentum for the Minutemen as they go into the Northern Lakes Conference season, a conference that should be a duel each and every week. There are no weak sisters in that league, but there are a few very strong teams, and I think we'll see one of them next week with Warsaw.
Well, they've had a tough schedule to handle early in the season, and that will toughen them up a little bit. But I tell you what, when you've gone through 2 complete games and you've given up 7 points, you're a pretty good ball club. 12 points.
12 points. Yeah. 12 points in 2 games. You'll take that if you're Craig Kaler. They just got to find a way to get the offense on track. And the same is true over at Jimtown. Corey Stoner looking for answers on offense because the defense has been really good for 2 straight weeks.
Yeah, boy, and there was some popping out there tonight. Just outstanding players on defense. We could have had the whole Concord defense in there for the player of the game, and Mary Moore certainly deserved it. But, boy, what an all-night effort by the Concord Minutemen.
Always a great rivalry and always a great performance by our 46 team, led by our producer, Dean Korsmo, and the rest of our dedicated crew who do work out in the heat. Well, I guess the guys in the truck don't work in the heat, but they do help us get set up. A reminder that we've got more high school football for you coming up on Saturday afternoon. We'll replay the game between Lakeshore and Portage Central that comes your way immediately following this contest. And then next Friday night, we go into the Northern Lakes Conference with the oldest rivalry in Northern Indiana football. The Warsaw Tigers take on the Plymouth Rockies. We'll have it for you on Facebook, YouTube, and the Champions Network at 6:45, and on TV 46 Friday at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. For the Hall of Famers, Bo Hunt, Bob Nagel, Chuck Freeby, the final. Concord 14, Jimtown nothing. So long from beautiful downtown Dunlap.